demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me for a minute while I catch up and share the live over to our group. Make sure the volume is okay. Let's see. Always a few seconds delay between my streaming and Facebook. I don't know if there's the same delay with YouTube, but I assume there would be. Here we go. Let's do that. And just bear with me. I don't know if there's the volume seems okay, and we'll share it over to group. Somebody's trying to contact me. It's always the way. When I start my live, don't they know that we're busy on a Saturday morning? Here we go. Share over to there. Awesome. Okay, done and done. So it looks like we're all ready to go. Glenda's with us already. Good morning, Glenda. You're number one today. So lots to get through today. We're going to do some crafting. It might be a long one, so grab a coffee and settle in, because I'm going to do a couple of techniques today that I usually shy away from techniques, as you all know, because they tend to go horribly wrong for me. But today, fingers crossed, we'll be okay. Annual catalogue, very excited. I love this new catalogue, and I've got to say I did struggle with the previous one, not just because they'd changed all the sort of the format of the thing, and it was a bit hard for oldies like me to find what I wanted, but they've gone back to an indexed formula this time, so that's really good to know if you haven't seen it already. So they've gone back, and just some of the products are just so nice. I've already started picking out, as you can tell. Got a lot of exciting things coming up. If you don't have an active demonstrator, you live in Australia and like a copy of the catalogue, please reach out. And I'm happy to send you one. I've got a bit of a stash here at home ready to go out to you. Now, speaking of the catalogue, I'm so excited. Well, I'm so positive about it that I've decided to have my usual launch. I know I didn't have one for, for the one before, the mini catalogue, just because it sort of didn't really ring with me. But this annual catalogue, I've decided to have a online launch. So it's open to anyone in Australia, so you can pop along online. I'm in Hobart, but that doesn't mean you have to be. Everyone can pop online for a full day of fun, and it's not just you sitting there watching me do my thing. That's as a lot of launches tend to be. I will actually send you the product and kits to make a couple of lovely cards. So I've already worked out the cards. The paper I'm going to be sending you as part of your your goodie bag is the beautiful gallery paper. It's just absolutely, I think it's the highlight. Absolutely gorgeous paper. It's not a particular theme as far as it's not all flowers, it's not all landscapes. It's actually more all artwork. So artwork, you can imagine these things being paintings, hanging up in the gallery somewhere in the world. Absolutely gorgeous paper. Almost too nice to cut up so that you actually see. And the backs are pretty as well. There's some more roses and tone on tones and things like that. So as part of the launch goodie bag, you will get a whole pack of this. You will also get a whole pack of the bling to use in the cards. And a little bit different this time, you will also get the embossing folder that goes with the suite as well. So I didn't use any ribbon on the cards, so I couldn't justify putting any ribbon in the kit. So I put the embossing folder that we're going to use instead. So I think I worked it out. The total value for you is over $60. You'll get the kits as well, and I've bundled that all up, including postage, for $70. So, and it's a full day in a Facebook group. Everyone can come along, and it will be hopefully a great day. They usually are. So anyone who has been along to my launches in the past can probably tell you that we have a great day. And it's always there if you can't make it on the day. So you say, I can't make it that Saturday, which I think is the 24th of May. There's a Saturday there somewhere in May. Then if you can't make it on that day, the Facebook group will be there for the next 12 months. So you can always catch up at your leisure. So these are the two cards we're going to make. As I say, I couldn't bring myself to actually cut that paper up too much. This is one here. We've used a tri-panel of the gorgeous blue roses there. And you'll notice that is that's one of our new in colours. So that is our secret Secret Sea. I haven't had them around long enough to know, but Secret Sea, I think it is. And it's a beautiful dark blue. It's like darker than our Night of Navy. It's gorgeous. It's even a little bit of a green tint to it as well. So that's our first card. You'll get a kit to make that one, and then you just cut your own paper and add the bling. And I think this is the highlight. So this is the second one, the other one we're going to do. It's got a pretty belly band there. I thought it'd make an absolutely wonderful anniversary card or a wedding card even, with a little belly band, and it's embossed on the side. Some vellum there because I couldn't even bring myself to cover over the gorgeous paper, and then it flicks up like that to write on the inside. So that is that's one of the nicest cards I think I've designed for a long time, but it's all in our beautiful basic beige, which I think will be lovely, as I say, for an anniversary or a wedding card or something like that. So that's the second card. So you'll get with me on the day. You will make both of those cards. So and you'll get kits to do so as part of your entry fee. So it'll be the paper, the bling, and the embossing folder will be part, plus the kits is what you get if you come along to launch. Second thing I wanted to say, April's Fun Fold card class is pretty much closed, but I'm now got ready to go on to May, and May is a little bit different. It's not a Fun Fold class as such, but we will be doing a paper stack. So this is the 4-card paper stack. So you usually only get 3 cards for Fun Fold class, but this time you'll get the kits to make 4. There's a little bit of fussy cutting involved. And as part of your Fun Fold this month, you will get, in May, you will get the neutral, half a pack of neutral matte dots and a quarter of a pack of the botanical textures, which is what we've used there. So that's May's Fun Fold class / sentiment class. So that's what we're going to get in May. Quite a few ladies who joined my class when I changed the format back in October. April was your last class. So please check your card as to whether it is your last class, and reach out about paying your subscription so you can be up and ready and running again in May. So that's May. And if you're not a member of my VIP club, you can still buy my classes month by month, or definitely think about joining because you save a wee bit of money there as well. Okay, let's go. So crafting time. I think that's all I needed to show you. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm going to be using this Arched, I'll get it out in a minute. Arched Wishes is a current online exclusive. You can probably tell by the fact it's called Arched something, and the fact that this little sentiment goes like in an arch like that. It's meant to go with the Everyday Arches dies, and it complements the Everyday Arches stamp set as well. So it's sort of like an extension from that bundle. It's really cute. I love this sort of almost, what's the word? Stylized little cupcake down here, and he's quite big. Sometimes the cupcakes are a wee bit small, but this one, he's quite large, so he can make a centerpiece all on his own. So I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to be showing a couple more of the in colours. So, and to make a starburst design. So make a template that we can use for a starburst design like this one. What brought this up was that the creative challenge for Stamping Up this month is one of them is a sketch, and it has a starburst arrangement. It actually uses paper or anything, but I thought maybe we could go for a starburst in blending brushes and see how we go. So I'm going to be showing you how to make the template to make that starburst, because sometimes don't want to actually buy a die or something special. We can actually make the template for this, and I'm going to be using a little bit of paper piecing as well, just to put make that little design on the cupcake tray. Okay, so let's have a go at this one. This is the colour that I've used there is our new, and ladies who are on stage will probably know all about it, is our new Darling Duckling. Now, Darling Duckling surprised us a wee bit because we saw it as yellow, but when it comes out of the box, it's a little bit greeny yellow. I don't know, the ladies who were on stage would probably agree with me that they looked at it and thought, expecting a yellow, but it's a slight, I'm going to say vegetal yellow. It's like it's like you've got a duckling, right, who's yellow, and he goes, you give him a good wash, and he goes out and rolls in the grass a little bit. So it's like a slightly greeny yellow. Only very slightly. It's basically yellow, but it's got that slight greeny tinge to it. I would say it's something like when we Ruby, our golden retriever, if we give her a bath and then all of a sudden she decides to go and roll in the freshly cut grass, that's probably a little bit like, although she gets a lot greener than a tinge of green, she gets hugely green. So anyway, that is Darling Duckling. So that's one of our new in colours. And I mean, let's face it, we've got a beautiful green, a beautiful yellow with our Daffodil Delight. So something a little bit different is Neen. So Anita thought it was a neon yellow. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's definitely got sort of tinges of green down here towards the end. I suppose we'll all have our opinions once we see it, but yeah. Okay, so there we are. So that's the style of card we're going to make. And I'm going to swap to another one of our in colours. I thought I'd show you another one. So you've seen 3 of the 5. Now I'm going to do this one in Timid Tiger. So it's a nice orange. So it's an orange that's probably a little bit paler orange than our Calypso Coral, and I wanted to put it next to Pumpkin Pie as well. And it's probably a little bit softer than Pumpkin Pie. There we go. So yeah, cute. Nice little. It's nice to have an in colour that tends to fill a gap between 2 colours that we may already have. Oh, wait a minute. Where's Pecan Pie? There we go. So look, there's Pecan Pie, there's Timid Tiger, and there's I'll get it back out again. Pumpkin Pie. So you can see it's sort of filling the gap between the really light and the really dark. There's always a method to their madness, I tell you. Cool. Right. Okay. Let's get started. Now, making the template. So I'm going to make a template that looks something like this. Is my original one that I made. Okay, so this is the template I'm going to make. I made that just out of normal white cardstock, which I think I probably need to go up to a thick cardstock. So that a thick cardstock, so it sort of tended to curl a little bit, but I'm going to make that for you. So yeah, so as I say, to save you having to buy an expensive die or whatever, you can have this on hand and bring it out, and whenever you want to do a starburst. I'm trying to find my pencil and it's hiding behind my iPad. Where are we? Okay, so you don't have to be very mathsy when you do this, but there is one rule that you have to remember, and I'll get to it as we go. Oh, my iPad's decided it doesn't like me. It's going to fall over. Okay, cool. So I'll get rid of those and I'll get rid of those, and we'll concentrate on this template. So I'm using a piece of cardstock, a nice thick cardstock that's a bit bigger than the eventual layer. So this is the eventual layer that I want, or it's actually a bit bigger than the eventual layer. So I'm making my template in something a wee bit bigger. And to get started, I'm going we need a focal point, so like the focus of our little starburst. And it's best if you're going to be putting things on top of it, like circles or sentiments, or in our case, our little cupcake. It's best to make your focal point smaller so that you can cover it over with the bigger images that you decide to use. So I'm using just this little die out of the Stitched Shapes stamp set, die set, which I'm so pleased to say is continuing in the new catalogue. So I don't have to go trying to find a substitute for Stylish Shapes. We can keep using it, which is wonderful. So what we're going to do is pop that, because I know I want my starburst in the sort of bottom right-hand corner of any design that I'm doing. So I'm just going to pop that little template sort of around there. I'm going to be trimming it down and just draw a circle around it. Okay, so that's there. I'll pop that away. Not doing any die cutting, I was just using it for the circle of the right size. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, how big is that circle? It's about an inch and a half. So half of an inch and a half is 3/4. So I'm going to try and find the centre of that circle, or at least roughly the centre. So there's an inch and a quarter, 3/4 of an inch that way, and there's 3/4 of an inch that way. So the centre of this circle is roughly there where I've put that little dot. okay? So from the circle of that little dot, you're now going to start producing our little sun rays. So get your pencil and your ruler, and from the dot to the edge of the paper, you just start putting your little sun rays. Now, this is where the rule comes in. You have to make sure that you divide this down into an even number of rays, okay? If you have an odd number of rays, you're going to find yourself in a problem when it comes to cutting out every second one, okay? So just keep that in mind as you go, that you need an even number of rays. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about from my first attempt. So we just, stick to the ruler would be good, Julianne. It just sort of went off on its own little mind there. Just feels like it knows better. Must be something underneath there. So anyway, keeping going, following the ruler as we go, and keeping in mind how many segments we're making. So what I find as I went around, if at the edge of the page they're about an inch apart, you can't go too far wrong. Now when I say about, I mean about. You know, the world wouldn't end if it was 3/4 of an inch or an inch and a quarter, but around an inch apart. And that's just from my experience of having done a couple of these successfully and unsuccessfully before. Okay, so we're just keeping our way around from the centre to the edge, trying to make sure I keep it around an inch apart when they get to the edge. I should say here's one I produced earlier and just whip it out, but well, I have got one, but I didn't want to cheat like that. Okay, so as I'm coming around to this edge, I'm going to just check my spacing and that I'm heading towards an even number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so let's keep going. 13, 14, 13, 14, 15. Now that's going to be too big. I'll split them in the middle, and that'll be 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. So I've got an even number of segments. So then what we're going to do is grab our scissors and we're going to chop out every second one, right from the edge right down to the circle. Okay, so you can see what I mean. If I'd had 15, I would have found myself in the situation where I was cutting out that one and the next one as well. So that's why I'm saying you need to have an even number of segments when you finish up. Okay, so let's start cutting. So cut. We're going to cut out every second section. So from the edge of the paper down to that little circle that we drew, and then follow the little circle around. So just a sort of a part circle, chunk, 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 to the next ray, and then in to there. Now, because I've used thicker cardstock, it's going to stand up to use better, but it is a little bit trickier to cut. Okay, so that's that one gone. And we move around to the next, the one after, the second one after. Come in there, and then come in there, and then we'll take out that little segment as well. There we are. So we basically just keep doing that until we end up with our little Starburst template. So obviously it's going to look a bit like a 8-legged, well, it's going to look a bit like a funny looking spider, isn't it? There we go. I reckon you could probably bring your trimmer into this if you wanted to trim those lines exactly straight, but I don't think it's overly necessary. I did try my very first one. I tried to do it with adhesive paper, you know, masking paper. I thought that would be very clever of me, but it was a little bit flimsy, and I definitely couldn't have got a second use out of it, which is what I wanted. And they tend to stick everywhere as well, and they're quite sticky. So I thought cardstock was much better idea. Should we keep going with this one? Yeah, let's keep going with this one. We've got, we're babysitting or dog sitting our youngest's little Maxie dog this weekend. Him and Sam and Hannah are off visiting friends up north, I think. And so Maxie is here, and he is a bundle of energy. I don't know, I haven't remembered what it's like to have a young dog. I mean, Ruby is nearly 12, so she's winding down a bit now. She's a bit of a geriatric, but oh my goodness, Maxie is a bundle of energy, and he's a lovely dog. He loves, in fact, I'm half expecting him to come in to visit us very soon. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised. He loves human contact. Last night, after tea, as soon as we sat down on the couch to watch some telly, he was up on the couch, which Ruby looked very jealous of because she's never been allowed on the couch before, so she wasn't very happy at all. Why is this dog on the couch? Given that she's like 45 kilos, that's sort of the answer. And Max is barely 10, I reckon. But anyway, so he, as soon as we're up on the couch, he's up there snuggling in. And he'd only been with us a day. He was quite accepting of his new surroundings, which is good. So I think he's tired himself out. Sorry, I'm just having a hot flash. Oh, man. That's okay. It'll go in a sec. Oh. Okay. I think we can push on. I might take my jumper off. Oh, I get all hot and bothered with crafting. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, yes, so I can't remember what I was saying. They really put me at 9s and 10s these days. Anyway, yes, so he's a lovely dog. He's the weirdest looking dog you've ever seen, but he's lovely. So, and I've already had my son and his partner on Messenger saying, how was he? How did he go? Is he okay? Is he eating? Like all new parents. Oh, I'm cold now. Taking my jumper off. Tassie has definitely plummeted into autumn the last week or so. The temperatures are a wee bit low, and hasn't had any rain though. Could really use some rain. The weather gods are listening. And why wouldn't they? Okay, so this is our last one. That could be my new gimmick, couldn't it? You know how some crafters come on and some, you know, have fancy fingernails and some have they've put their makeup on before they start, or they, I don't know, all the various things that they do to make themselves different. I could have I make sure I have a hot flash every time I do a card class. That could be good. Well, it's fairly certain I will anyway. But anyway, so that's my gimmick going forward. I call myself the, what will I call myself? The hot flasher or something. Anyway, okay, cool. Now let's keep going. So we've got our template. There you go. Ta-da! So we'll grab the panel that we're eventually going to use it on. I don't think that's it. Yeah, it must be it. Okay, I'm going to be trimming this down anyway. So we're going to position our template over roughly where we want it and roughly sort of straight. And so it doesn't move around. Oh, it's going to be a crash. Yeah, a bit of a crash. Because it doesn't move around, I'm going to pop some masking tape just around the edges. So just onto my amazing, wonderful glass mat, which is the best thing in the world. Hint, hint. Buy one, buy one. Okay. Trying desperately to get to my April challenge so I can win earn the tote. So I'm a little bit blatantly trying to sell things at the moment. I'm not going too badly actually. At this stage I'm hopeful that I might earn it. But yes, if I'm a little bit sellier, a bit more emphasis on selling than usual, you'll know that's why I'm trying to get that tote. Okay, so there we are. So there's our Starburst template all down. I'm going to, as I say, this time, rather than the Darling Duckling, I'm going to use the Timid Tiger. And I've got my brush. It's still my yellow brush, but I think it'll be okay. And then we will get blending. So as with any Starburst, I want it a wee bit darker in the centre and then sort of transition to lighter on the way out. So I'll just start like this. Now, I did find that going around and round and round and round and round just really didn't get me where I wanted to be. It's actually better to go along each ray, so to speak. I'm going to keep that because you don't want it moving. Start like really dark down the bottom and then go, what is that tape? That's Sharon is Don't Tell My Husband, but that's what's the word? Painting tape that I stole out of his garage. That's just old Bunnings paint. I assume it's from Bunnings. Painter's tape. I suppose you could use washi or anything like that, couldn't you? But it's what I have handy and it's what I could steal when I needed it. And he can say he's contributing to my crafting endeavours. Oh, it's moved a wee bit. I don't think it matters too much. Okay. Okay, I think that's done. Probably not the smooth transition I was hoping for, but that's okay. You guys aren't going to be able to tell. So I'll get rid of that before we have a disaster, and I'll get this tape off. I'll be a bit careful. I'd like to be able to use the template again. I did go a little bit overboard, didn't I? It wasn't going anywhere. Oh, I can slip it out. Ta-da! There we go. So I'll take that tape off and I'll be able to use that one, the same as use this one. I wonder how close they ended up being. Because everyone's going to be different, isn't it? Because you're using, yeah, I didn't go too badly. Look, I lined them up fairly well. Okay, so this is our Starburst. What do you reckon about that? There you go. So let's keep pushing on with our card. I've got a card base, normal, and this is a thick white card base, normal size. Actually, not normal size for me. I made it a bit bigger. I took it up to 5 3/4 high rather than 5 1/2. I'm just trying to find a bone folder. There we go. And I've got a layer of our Timid Tiger. There we are. Actually, I'm going to make that a wee bit narrower. Oh, come here. Oh, where'd the annual catalogue come from? How did that get there? So what did I make that? I made that, oh, okay. 1/2 inch smaller. Not, sorry, I'll take it to there. So that's a bit smaller. That's 1/2 inch smaller than the card. I'm going to pop that just in the centre of the card, just like that, with some glue. And come on, glue. I knew I had 2 glues, one that was needed some attention and one that was okay. So I picked the one that needed the attention, didn't I? Okay, so just pop that on there. And then I'm going to trim this little guy down, our Starburst one, so it's a little bit smaller than this one. And I've rearranged my craft room. Can you tell? Nothing is where I'm used to it being. Even the wipes have disappeared. Yes, I know I've made a lot of room in one part over there. I've made a lot of room with just swapping out a desk and putting in a set of shelves, but as a result of that, I now have to have my cut and emboss machine on my work surface. So I've sort of given myself area back in one part of the craft room, but taken it away in another. So everything's sort of had to move a bit. So I'm going to trim this Starburst down a wee bit so it doesn't take the whole thing. So what did I make that? Okay, so I'll make that 3. I'll make the Starburst 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. So I'll take 1/2 inch off there, 1/2 inch off there. Yeah, so 1/2 inch off there. I might take a bit more off that because I don't want to go too close down here at the bottom, so I'll take the whole amount off the top. There we are. So that's our Starburst. And I'm going to pop this onto our card, but at a slight angle so you can see a bit like that. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Part of me wants to put that through an embossing folder, but I'm resisting. I'm resisting the urge. Okay, so that's our card base. Now I'm going to make our little cupcake. So I want to grab a scrap of white and the stamp set. So there's our stamp set. I'm going to ink up and you'll see how big this guy is. He's actually a beautiful, good size, a really good size. Like I'll pop him on a normal size block, and he's verging on being too big for our what's that one? D block. I think I've covered it over. Yeah, D block. Okay, so just some black. Surprised we haven't had visitors into the craft room. That's very surprising. So I'm going to use that. Now the paper piecing, I'm assuming everybody who's watched enough videos would know what paper piecing is. I thought somebody, when I first heard about it, I thought somebody was saying paper piercing, as in putting holes in paper, but that made no sense. So I figured it was paper piecing. Somebody might be able to tell me if I'm wrong. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is grab some designer series paper. Now this is gorgeous designer series paper, actually. Look at that. This is one of the new ones out of the new annual catalogue. It's called, I will show it to you. It's called something Florals, Florals in Bloom. I don't know if it's in the annual catalogue or the online exclusive. Anyway, it becomes available to customers on the 6th or in pre-order if you're a demo. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Look, it's got beautiful florally colours and some tone-on-tones, some little pink ones there. The other side of that is, look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, no, it's a lovely a lovely paper. If you would like a sneak peek of it, it's part of my paper share. If you'd like to jump online, jump onto my Facebook page and participate in paper share, you can have a look at that before you buy a whole pack, because I'm sure you will buy a whole pack. Okay, so paper piecing. Someone's going to jump on and say it is actually paper piercing. But anyway, I don't. This thing that I'm doing now, a technique, I'm just going to ink up just in black, just the cupcake holder part of our stamp set, of our stamp. Pop it onto the designer series paper. Here we are. So you actually end up with a little designer series paper cupcake holder. And I'll get my scissors. You're all very quiet today. Am I enthralling you with my wisdom? Okay, just pop this out. So the colours on this designer series paper on this one here are the Timid Tiger, the Darling Duckling, and I think it's the sort of the in colours, the Strawberry Slush as well. That's why I thought it was good to show you. So I've just cut that little piece out and I'll get rid of that little curve, and I've got myself a patterned cupcake paper. Here we are. So what I'll do is when I've got it all cut out, I will pop that over the top there like that. Okay, so let's colour the rest of it. So I don't have blends in the in colours yet, but I do have my markers. So we'll actually just copy everything in markers. So this is Strawberry Slush. I think this is a returning colour. If you've been around for a while, you may recognise it. Now markers, it's a different colouring experience with markers, but you'll get the idea of the colour. And it's all just one, it'll be one shade because I won't be blending with the blends. The blends weren't part of pre-order, sadly, this year, but the markers were. It's very quiet out there. Like when the kids were little and they went quiet and you thought, what sort of trouble are they getting into? I have an awful feeling they might be getting into trouble, those two dogs of ours, or not ours, but Ruby. Ruby wouldn't be getting into trouble. She's a good girl. Maxie might. Okay, so that's the Strawberry Slush there. There we are. And the little what's the word? Candle I will do in Darling Duckling, since we're not doing the background in Darling Duckling this time. And if I make that slightly bigger, you'll see what I mean about the ink of that being a slightly, what I think is a slightly greeny yellow. There we are. Anyway, so that's my theory and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so I'm going to chop out my little, well, quite big cupcake. Now, I think, pretty sure this arched I can't say it. It's either arched wishes. Oh my goodness me. Anyway, this stamp set is currently available if you like it. I don't think it was, I think it's already been released. So if you like the look of the cupcake, please pop online and grab it. So I'm just fussy cutting. In the other one, I regretted it, but I actually chopped the little candle wick off. because I couldn't be bothered fussy cutting it, but I regretted it later, so I'm actually going to take the time to fussy cut that this time. Not too hard to fussy cut this one. It's just lovely, except for that wick. It's just lovely straight, even curves and then straight lines. So now, because I'm actually overlaying this with the Designer Series paper cup, I'm actually going to take the edges of this right down so that it doesn't show over the edge of the Designer Series paper. So I've cut that, whereas I've left most of the black outline in the cupcake itself. I've taken this right down so that you won't see it behind when we add the little cupcake paper. Okay, so I'll pop that there. And we're done with that anyway. Cupcake. There we go. Let's bring our card back. We'll pop this here. Now, I did want to, because I left the wick on this time, I'm going to pop the cupcake just over where the focal point of our starburst is. Then I wanted to bring in some ink to actually pop a little, in the stamp set there's a little sort of like, okay, there's a little sparkle that's supposed to be your colour. So what I was going to do is grab one of our darker oranges. So maybe I go for our pumpkin pie. And where it's going to sit, I'm going to pop that little sparkle behind it, just straight onto the card. So if I grab my pencil, put that where I think I like it. So I'm going to do the cupcake straight on there. I'll just pop a little pencil mark there where I want my sparkle centre. Pop that on, get some pumpkin pie onto that. And, oh, it's a shame it's not a clear stamp. I'd be able to see exactly where I'm going, but I'm going to have to guesstimate it. Guesstimate it at about, there. That's not far wrong. So that's just got a little sparkle there. And part of me wants to add more, but you know me, I just overdo things. So I might just leave it at 1 to start with and see how that feels. So there, we've got the little sparkle there in the background. With the other one, I bought in the Daffodil Delight and I went a bit crazy with sparkles. And again, more isn't necessarily more. I decided I'd overdone it. Okay, some dimensionals. Oh, gosh. Everything is behind that iPad. I think I may need to re-evaluate myself, my life choices. Okay, so let's pop some dimensionals on the back. Now, this little thing, this little candle is sort of super, 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 super tiny, so I'm going to have to chop a little bit of dimensional. It's like wafer thin here. Try and get it behind. I've got the wrong glasses on. Oh, no wonder I'm having trouble. So just a tiny bit of, there we go, of dimensional there. Trouble is when you cut it so fine, it's you've got to remember which part has the, hard to realise which part has the sticky on it. There we are. Yeah, maybe some Wink of Stella would go well on there as well, maybe. There we go, so that's that. And Sentiment-wise, what am I going to use? Now, I decided when I did my original one that this Happy Birthday from the Arched Wishes was a wee bit big. Sort of covers too much over. You can see you pop it there with a sentiment box and it's going to cut all the effort we went to do that. All the effort we went to do that, and it's covered by the sentiment. So I decided that was a no deal, not using that one. I did decide on using something a little skinnier. Now, where was that? It was Darling Dinos. That's another word I can't say. Forgive me, I've walked away. I am very organised on my left. I should show you. I did actually take a picture of it. I was very proud of my new cabinet, but it makes my stamp sets at least easier to find. I've actually reorganised it a wee bit so that the stamp sets are, I mean, you guys know as much as I do that stamp sets at the moment you've got annual catalogue stamp sets, you've got online exclusive stamp sets, you've got mini catalogue stamp sets or bundles or whatever. There's it's just not stamp sets anymore. There's different releases. So I've decided to try organising my stamp sets by release rather than by, just lumping them all together. So I've got a shelf for annual catalogue ones and I've got a shelf for online exclusive ones, and I'm feeling that it's a good way to go, but I'm not quite sure yet. It may just end up being a waste of shelf space, but we'll see. There's a little strip of white cardstock there that I just took off. I think it was trimmed off one of the edges of some of these. So I'll pop my Happy Birthday on there. Waste not, want not. You can see that this one, the Darling Dinos, is also continuing. So yay, if you like that one, please you can grab that one as an ongoing item as well. So we'll just trim off our Happy Birthday. Pop some dimensionals on the back of that as well. There we go. Oh. So a bit of dimensional on one end and some glue on the other, where it's going to sit up on the cupcake a wee bit. And we're hardly losing any of our cute little cupcake, which is good. So I have to even this out. That having that layer off straight sort of ruins me for the rest of it being straight. Part of me wants to line it up with there. Part of me wants to line it up nowhere. But well, hopefully that's straightish. There we go. And bling. So I also wanted to show you the new bling. So there's always, whenever there's new in colours, there's always a pack of bling that just concentrates on the in colours, and this is them this time. These are the 25 to 27 in colour flat pearls. They are super cute and the colours are really nice as well. I do like the in colours this year. They're very good, especially that secret. That one went. That's all right. We need that colour. Pop it back on. I just wanted to take it off the thing. Anyway, here we go. So there are in colours. Actually, it probably was better off on the white. Okay, so there's our Strawberry Slush, our Darling Duckling, our Timid Tiger. This is Cloud Cover. Now this is a lovely pale blue sort of things. So it's a pale blue. Having a bit of trouble with the ink for that one. They haven't actually released it. Well, they're not going to release the ink pad just yet. We've found some errors that it changes colour over time, and that's our secret C. So yeah, so I do have although I don't have the ink pad, I do have the blend. So they must have found that the marker was okay. The ink in the marker is okay, but the ink in the ink pads is no good. Well, not no good. It just changes to grey too quickly. Let's have a look at this one. I haven't actually opened it up. Yes, this is live here in my craft room. We're having a look at Cloud Cover. Actually, that's bluer than I thought. Oh, is Jan still on? Doesn't that look blue, Jan? So that's the colour it's supposed to be. So that's a fair bit different to the stamp set, to the ink pad they gave us to play with. at on stage. That's quite blue. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully when the ink pad comes out, it will they'll fix the problem and they'll bring the ink pad before it retires. Okay, so anyway, back to the bling. So this is the pearls, the flat pearls, nice and flat in profile. So if you wanted to use them for posting letters or whatever, you're not going to cause any issues for scrapbooking the whole thing. That'll be nice and flat on the page. It's not too high in profile. And let's pop them on. Where did I pop them on the other one? So this little guy who decided to go AWOL, he can sit up in here. And there's 3 sizes, so that's good. Sometimes you only get the 2 sizes and you end up not really knowing where to put them. That's me most of the time. But there's 3 sizes, so you can split them up. There we are. Okay, so that is my Timid Tiger Starburst birthday card. Nice and simple. And, you know, that template there, I can pop that in in somewhere and keep it safe and use it again next time, obviously without the builder's tape. But yeah, so there you don't go and buy yourself an expensive die, just with a pencil and a ruler and a little bit of mathsy brain, not too much of a mathsy brain, but just make sure you have an even number of rays and everything will work out properly and nice. There we go. So that's our Starburst template there. It's just a bright, cheerful little card. There you go. It's not going to win me any prizes or, you know, get into the art gallery or anything, but it's cute and it's quick and it's just a nice bright little birthday. Okay, so there you go. You've seen some in colours. You've seen the stamp set whose name I can't say as well, which is a cute little stamp set. As I say, it's meant to go, complements the everyday arches there. So you can, you know, just have an extra, what's the word? String to that bow and get more use of those. It's got a little balloon there as well and some stars and a little sort of bannery thing as well. So that's really cute. I like that one. Okay, thanks for joining me. I think I've got another hat flash come on. But anyway, I will go and deal with that. Remember, if you are in Australia and you would like to come along to launch, I've shown you the 2 cards we're going to make together, so you'll get the kits to make them. I'm off to the side a little bit, aren't I? Yeah, so we'll get to make those together on the day. So that one and that one. Plus I'll show you at least 5, 6, maybe 7 things from the new catalogue as well. So it should be a good day. Close off for it is the 6th of May though. So if you'd like to come along, please, so I can get the product ordered and sent to you, please RSVP and pay before the 6th of May. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care during the week and I will see you again next weekend. Okay, bye.